Mute. I'm gonna on a am I live?
Oh, yeah.
Mike's in the doghouse. So I was sitting here trying to figure out how to mute a conversation on my phone, and I look up and I'm like, are we live? And he's like, oops. I was trying to mute. I'm on a text thread with my daughter and two of her friends, and they're very chatty, and I love chatting with them, but during the live I needed to turn the notifications off. Sorry about that. Let's hope that this is not an indicator of what today will be like in this live. Welcome. It'll be fine. Welcome. It's Sunday, which means more casual live, so I'm excited about this. I love spending Sundays here. I thank you for being here. I know time is precious, so I appreciate it very, very much. I love going live on Sundays when I'm in town and not sick. Usually I like going live at 3. I love that time slot. I don't know why. Something about it's great. Hey, somebody from Hero Arts is here. Is that Kelly? Let me know. Is it Kelly or Shannon or who? So I was going to go live, but then I found out Shannon, who's one of my favorite card makers, is going live at 3 on the Hero Arts channel. And I didn't want to do it at the same time. So I figured we could watch here and then we could go watch over there. There will be no kissing today in today's live. Somebody asked Mike. So if you missed, on Friday, I went live with Gina. And towards the end, we got a little silly. I was crying. I was laughing so hard. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So if you missed it and you need a good laugh, I really encourage you to go watch at least the last 20 minutes of that live. Oh, it was so much fun. So much fun. I don't have Gina with me today. And I tend to stay on track better. Mike, who did Hero Arts say is here for them? I missed it. Oh, Mike's all excited because he beat Brienne and sharing a live link to that live.
Oh, who from Hero?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out who acetates Mackin. Yes. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out who is here from Hero because I missed it. I asked and they said, I'm sorry. Okay, so today, I have things somewhat planned. It's Kelly. Hi, Kelly. I have some things planned-ish, but we're really going to just do some crafting. I have some fun techniques to share, some things. I was playing with a new Hero Arts release yesterday, or no, it was Friday. I was just enjoying it, and I thought, you know what, I should turn this into a live because I have some really cool kind of fun fold techniques. I have a technique for like an Eclipse look. I have a technique for dressing up your die cuts. I have a technique for dressing up your layering stencils. And I have a technique for using the stamp wheel. I got all kinds of things. A little bit of something for everyone. Thank you. The sweater's old. It's from Marine Layer. That website has the coolest clothing, but it's really expensive. So I always wait until there's a mega sale. And this is the one thing I think I own from there. I think it's Marine Layer. I think that's what it's called. Maybe not. I don't know. Sika will know. She's in the comments. Okay, so let's see. let's talk about what I'm using today. Today I'm using products from Hero Arts. You'll see some other brands thrown in. I always do that. But today is Hero Arts. I want to talk about a few things first before we jump in. As you know, several months ago, Hero Arts kind of went under the Spellbinders umbrella. And I know that's a scary thing for some people, but I really like the people over at Spellbinders, and I know that they'll do their best to take care of Hero and keep it true to what Hero's always been about. So you know I'm a mama bear about Hero. I love Hero Arts. I always say that I would not be a card maker if it weren't for Aaron, who owned Hero Arts. He scooped me up from scrapbooking and turned me into a card maker, which was one of the biggest blessings of my life. And Hero Arts really paved the way for me. They really did. Between them and Heidi from Simon Says Stamp, who helped me like turn being an independent crafter into a career, I will forever be in debt for them. And Aaron is still a very good friend of mine. So I'm still going to use Hero Arts. I love Spellbinders, so I'll use Spellbinders a lot too. I think it's a good thing. There were some like hiccups as they transferred, you know, from all the products from California to Phoenix, like some slow shipping times, but I think all those hiccups are smoothed out. And they have, they now have some of their old designers from Hero Arts, who I love, under new leadership person, kind of with Spellbinders, I think. And I really like this release. I think it's one of the first that has come out, or that they created together, I think. I think it's a really well done release. I will try to answer as many questions as I can. Yes, this is for Marine Layer, some folks were asking. Some folks were also asking, will I still do Hanging with Hero? Aaron and I do plan to do it. We just wanted to have a little bit of time, and we'll get back to it. I'll text him this afternoon and ask him. But yes, we do plan on still doing the Hanging with Heroes. If you've missed any of the Hanging with Heroes series, I highly recommend watching them. Even if the guest that we had is somebody that you're unfamiliar with, each one of them had something amazing to offer. A story about our industry or history. It's fascinating. It's fascinating. I highly recommend checking out the Hanging with Heroes. And they're shorter than my lives, shorter than most of my lives, so that's good. Okay, so Hero Arts, they have what they call now, it's changed over the years, and now it's called Hero Studio, which is their subscription program. On the first of every month now, they show what the subscription is for the month, and it stays open for a certain amount of time. You can sign up for the subscription and you get a really great discount. The products are very well priced under the subscription, and there are, I think, 5 different subscriptions you can sign up for. There is a card kit, which I've been using. It used to be called My Monthly Hero. There's a card kit. There's a layering stencil. So you can subscribe to get their layering stencil each month. And it's just the layering stencil, which I love that it's just the tool, not like added stuff. So it's very valuable. So there's layering stencil, there's the fancy die, there's the cling stamp of the month, and then there's a stamp and die set. Then you can do the whole thing and save big time. So I just wanted to mention that they've kind of changed those, how they're done. I have a link in my description to an explanation page about it. The nice thing is you can cancel anytime. And there it says on that page like when you need to cancel for that month to get stopped. But it's one of those that you can cancel anytime. So I'm using February's newest studio. So these products are available via that subscription, and you'll see the different ones. I'll show you images here because I'm just trying to explain what I'm using, so there's no questions. So these things are available under subscription, which you can cancel anytime. If there are any products left after subscription, these products will be available individually next month, but it's only if some are left. Okay, so the nice thing is I went live last week with Spellbinders, and they gave me a 10% off site-wide, and they said since I was going live today, they would give me a 10% site-wide off at Hero Arts too, and that includes your first month subscription if you decide to check out what I'm using today. However, it's site-wide with Hero Arts, so you'll see me use some of their other products. All of those things will be 10% off. There is a link and a discount code below. The only thing not included in the 10% is their clearance section, like their last call section. However, I encourage you, if you're shopping, look in there because there are like stamp and die sets for like $4 and something. I mean, huge markdowns. And even though you won't get an extra 10% off that, there's still huge savings. So you can still use the code. It won't take 10% off the exclusive stuff or the discount clearance stuff, but it'll take 10% off everything else. Does that make sense? I'm hoping that makes sense. And the reason I like when companies ask if I want to do these special offers is it's a way for us to save, right? We're always looking for that. And also it's a way for us to support those companies. As you know, things are going to get harder with getting products for these companies in the next several months, so anything we can do to support them. Where can I find info on the sales at the factory store for Hero Arts? I would check the Hero Arts website or the Hero Arts blog, the blog, or their social media channels. I think they're having their last factory sale in California because they've moved out of there. I don't know if they've already had it or if it's soon. Hero Arts still has its own website. They're just shipped from the same warehouse. So it's kind of like Old Navy and Gap. You know, they're shipped from the same warehouse, but they have two separate websites. Oh, did I freeze for people? I hope I didn't freeze. Somebody said I froze. Okay, so yeah, I'm just,
not for me.
I'm trying, when I do these lives, I love these special offers. I think they're great. And then when I'm using something, I try to make sure I use something that is going to be available, like there's enough available if people are interested. But keep in mind, the things I use, you can use with other products you have. And as I'm using it, I almost always talk about other things that would work if you don't have it. So we'll be talking a lot about that. Somebody asked why it's going to be harder to get products. We're not going to get into politics here. Just a fact, there are going to be new tariffs, and those tariffs will cost our companies more, which means the companies will have to charge more. So it's unfortunately a lot of the products that we use in the craft industry, like embellishments, are not made in the US. So we have to go overseas, and there's only one die manufacturer in the US. So they can't keep up. So we have to go, some companies have to go overseas. It's hard. Anyway, we're not going to do that, go into that. What's the question, Mike?
10%.
It is 10% off the Hero Arts website.
Oh, it's a site-wide.
It's a site-wide on Hero Arts. The only thing not included is the clearance section, the last call section. And that information is right at the top of my YouTube description. All right? Okay, I'm hoping that makes sense. Now I'm going to show you the stuff I'm using and talk about it a little bit, and then we're going to dive into a lot of things, because if I don't show now, people are going to ask during it, like, what is that and how do I get it and all that stuff, and I really want to make sure that's clear. Yep, today is the Hero Arts website only. Last week I had a Spellbinders website only code, and all of it is in the YouTube description below. Also at the top of my YouTube description is a link with the word live in it. If you click that and open it to a new page, at the top it'll talk about that special offer, and then you can scroll down and see thumbnails of the things I'm talking about. Cynthia, I would love these things to be made in the US. However, it's just not happening. For example, die manufacturing is a really nasty involved process, and there's only one company here that does it. It would be fantastic if it were possible, but I'm not starting a die manufacturer. I don't think any of us are. So the companies are doing the best they can. Just trust me on that. Okay. All right. Let's dive in. Okay. So first of all, let me show you, Mike, can you show the big kit. It's the card kit of the month for February. It's an image. No, just the kit. It's got like stamps and dies in it. Sorry, yeah, that's it. In the future, I'm going to number these so he knows which ones to show. I just didn't get to do that this time. So this is the card kit of the month for February. Now, you got to see in here that there is a lot in this card kit. So at the top left is a large 6x8 stamp set, which I'll use today. Underneath it is a large 6x6 cling stamp, which I'll use today. Then next to that, on the bottom center, is a regular size stamp set, a 4x6, that I'll use today. And then there are coordinating dies for the 2 stamp sets. And there are 4 little ink cubes. I'm not using those today, but it's a great way to build up your collection. And then there are 4 large sentiment dies with the coordinating shadow for it. So let me show you, can you come back here? Let me show you down here. Okay, so these are the things that are in the kit, the card kit. So, and this, all of these things. So a cloud cling, which you'll see me use. This big stamp set, which looks kind of funny here, but you'll see me use this in a couple different ways. Then there are coordinating dies for these images, including the thank you and hello, which I really like the handwritten look. You'll see that in action. Then there's this 4x6 stamp set. No, that's not it. Wrong stamp set. It's this one. This 4x6 stamp set and the coordinating dies, which I have in here. So there's coordinating dies for that too. Then these large words, smile, thanks, miss you, hey there. You can see how big they are, and the shadow die for it. Okay, so this is in the card kit, and I'll be using them throughout. And so this, you can sign up for the card kit subscription. It's a Hero Studio card kit, and this is what you get. And remember, there's 10% off right now. Then there is the stamp. There's the clear stamp and die of the month. Mike, do you have that image? This is all from Hero Arts.
This one?
It's the stamp and die. Nope, stamp and die.
This guy.
Yeah. So it's that stamp set and coordinating die. You can subscribe to their clear stamp and die of the month. And that's what February's is. I'm not using this today, but I do love the sentiments in here. And the die set includes the dies to cut out those sentiments, like have a lovely day. I think that's great. I might be using that one later. All right. Then, Mike, there should be the fancy die of the month. It's the one you just showed by accident. So that one, this is the fancy die of the month. I'll hopefully have time to use this later. I think this is great because there's lots of different flowers included. If you go to the Hero Arts website, they have lots of great examples on different looks you can get from this. There should be one that's assembled, an image assembled of that, Mike. It's colorful. It's very colorful.
Is it the hey there?
Maybe, no. Hold on.
Which one is it?
It was one of the first ones I sent you. There, that one.
Okay.
Hang on, Mike's finding it. There we go. And that's one of the ways you can assemble it. So you can subscribe to get the fancy die of the month, and it'll be something like this that comes to you. And I love the different flowers, the little planters here, and I have a fun technique that I'm hoping to do with that, okay? Then there is the cling stamp of the month. It looks like this, Mike. It's like a weave. That is the cling stamp of the month, and I will be using that for a couple techniques right now. I think these dies were not connected. I think they're cut apart now, Jennifer. My dies here are separate. So I think so. Yeah. I think they come apart now that they're working with Spellbinders, which is a great thing. Then there is the layering stencil of the month. It's the one with the tulips. Do you know what tulips are, Mike? Let's see. Layering stencils of the month.
Did you have stencils?
Yeah. I think so. Well, it looks like it's assembled. Sorry, guys. I should have had these numbered. There you go. It was the yellow.
Okay.
Okay, he's got it. Sorry. So that's the layering stencils of the month, and they're very easy to use. No mystery on lining them up. They're fantastic. And can you switch to my overhead real quick? this is what the layering stencils are like. There's 4 of them, and they have little holes in the corner that help you line each one up. So there's no like mystery in lining them up. They're always very, very simple. And I'll do a technique with this one too. Now there's also a whole option, which is a huge value. Can you show the whole subscription? So this is the whole studio option. So you get everything, all of those. And I think it's a 45% savings by getting all of it. So you can see up on the top half, we have the card kit, and on the bottom, you have the fancy die, the clear stamp and die, the cling stamp, and the layering stencils. And the nice thing is if you get all of that, do you have this image, Mike? It's blue background. If you subscribe for that each month, you get a free bonus item. So this month, it's that cute little ladybug and snail and dragonfly die set. Oh, did I say tulips? I meant daffodils. So that I'm using, I think, everything today. So this is a great option, the whole studio. Okay, Melinda asks, for all the techniques you covered with Gina for Hero Arts, will they only work with Hero Arts reactive inks? They should work with all of those inks, Melinda. All of those inks should work. Okay, so that's what I'm using today, Hero Arts Studio. I have a link to, you can come back here. I have a link to the information about the Hero Arts Studio in my YouTube description below. Also, Hero Arts is here. Kelly, who's one of the greatest humans ever, she is in the chat, so she can also answer questions. So if you have a question about how it works, you can tag Hero Arts there. But for years, I've been using Hero Arts subscription because the value is so great, and it's continuing to be. And as you saw, everything in them is stuff that could be reused. Dyes, stencils, inks, things that you can continue to use, not like something that you use up. I'm hoping that's helpful. And remember, 10% off with my code below. I see lots of Hero Arts design team here. Michelle, lots of you. Sika, there's a lot of people there. Good people. Okay, so let's start out. Let's get going. Sorry for the long explanation, but I know if I don't explain it, we're going to be up a creek. All right. So, oh, Allie put in the comments, in the chat, the last Hero Arts factory sale is on February 8th, and that's in California. Okay, so let's start with, I have 2 cards. This is the first one, and it is kind of a fun fold card. And I have a tip for you on how to make several of these images at once. So here's the first one. It opens up like this. I just think that's a fun, unique way, and it can kind of interlock like that. So that's one. And then here's the other. This one flattens to go in an envelope, but then when you take it out, see it pops up, and it looks really cool on display. All right, so I'm going to do both of these. We're hoping. Okay. Hold on, I gotta look here. Okay. All right, so yeah, I'm just seeing if I'm missing any questions, sorry. Okay, so let's get started. I wanna show you a trick because I want to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 5 tulips of this tulip piece, like this piece here. So I'm gonna set up my stamp wheel to allow me to do a bunch of them easily. Now, if you have a MISTI, you can do it in the MISTI for sure. It's just this is 4 layers, and that's easier with the stamp wheel. 2 layers is easier in the MISTI, but you'll see as we go. I'll talk about it, but you definitely could do this in the MISTI, a variation. So this is the Stampwheel 2.0. It's made by Altenew, who are friends of Hero Arts. I am going to use this to do all of my tulip stamping. I have a piece, this is actually, I cut apart because I'm bad. I bought 2 packs of the Altenew alignment guides. They're really meant for inside of your MISTI to space things out. Oh, that's the dogs. I thought it was thunder. It's the dogs running around upstairs. They're really meant to like help you place things in here, but I use these for masking. You've seen me use them many times in videos. And today I got a second set that I cut apart, so I just have smaller pieces. I'm just gonna put it in here. That's gonna be my little stopper because I'm gonna have my paper right down the center. All right, just to show you, it's a way to know where to place my paper every time, which is really helpful for this technique. Okay, so let's get out the stamp set. Are any of you crafting today? I hope you're crafting. And I hope you can put me on mute if you want to. I would. So this is the stamp set. It's a 6x8 stamp set, and this is part of the Hero Art Studio card kit for this month. What's on my stamp? Something touched my stamp out here. Hang on. I don't know. Something got on it. Let me give it a little bath. Oh, good thing to point out right now. I got glue or something on my stamp because I didn't put it away. This is a good opportunity to show you because I gotta work to get this off. It's the Hero Art Ultra Clean is back in stock. Oh, there you go. You can see my bottle is very old. It's back in stock. This is what I use to clean my stamps and to clean any of my grip mats because grip mats are made from the same material, so it's best to use a stamp cleaner. I'm also using my Hero Art Scrubber, which is a soft scrubber, but it allows you to scrub on your stamps without doing any damage. I also use the scrubber to clean my grip mats and my, like my Misty door and such. I don't know what I got on there. That was weird. It was like some glue or something.
Yeah, we got some crafters.
Oh, we have crafters. Nice. I like it. I like it. Okay, so this scrubber, by the way, I think it's in stock now. The Ultra Clean's back in stock. It has, like, you can remove the soft scrubbing portion. It's Velcroed on. And I have replacements of it. So once this one gets really dirty, this one's pretty dirty, I'll take it to my sink, spray it really hard with water and let it dry and switch to another one of those. All of mine are laying out by the sink because I let them dry. But you can get replacement scrubbies. So it's nice for that. I don't recommend getting the whole block wet. I just recommend taking the front off. And then I also have another scrubber that I keep clean. And this one I use as like a pressure tool to put pressure on my Misty when I'm stamping. It slides across it nicely. How often do I clean my grip mat? I don't clean it that often. I don't like cleaning. Just every once in a while, if it's starting to look icky, I will give it a spritz with my Ultra Clean and then give it a little scrub and then wipe it with wet cloth. It works for me. I will say that Kathy Zilski did a reel recently on her Instagram channel about how to clean it with soap and water. I don't do that, but it works better than just leaving it dirty. But I leave mine dirty. I don't know. I just wipe it. Okay, so I have a little stopper in here. I've got some white cardstock here. This is half a sheet, so it's 5.5 by 8.5. I just figured that would work well. Then I have the first layer of the tulip grass. What is that noise? Is that water running or something?
It must be.
I don't know what that is. Okay, so I'm just gonna lay that there. Now this is the top of the stamp wheel, and I'm going to put it every time so that this little hole that I marked is at the top. So I just press down, and there we have it there. All right. Now as you see in every one of my lives, I need to re-ink my ink pads, but I'm not doing that today. Another time. So I'm using Hero Art's Green Apple. I've had these inks for a long time and I haven't re-inked them. I actually put a little mark on the back of my ink pad with the date when I know I re-inked it last. I don't have a template for these folds because I'm not that fancy, but I'm hoping to in the future. But I promise they're so simple, no need at all. You can always come back to the video. Okay, oh, I did a terrible job stamping. All right, so this is Green Apple. Does the stamp come green? Mine has a green tint to it. The reason it has a green tint to it is because I stamped probably 30 of these in preparation for this video. So I have used it quite a bit. A loved stamp set will stain. That's just the way it is. A good, loved, high quality stamp set will stain. All right, so I got that there. Now, I want to do two at once. Having a hard time here. So I'm going to do another one up here. Should have picked a darker color, I think. Okay, So I stamped this way this time. Now I'm going to rotate it so that this little hole's down here and stamp up at the top half. I didn't really center it, but it doesn't matter because we're going to die cut it out. There should be captions. Captions should automatically happen. I didn't change any settings. Is something different? There should be captions. There are always captions afterwards too. I know that. How often do I re-ink my ink pads? I don't re-ink very often, honestly. I wait till it's absolutely necessary. Usually you can tell if an ink pad needs re-inking by doing this, by taking it and dragging it. If it looks like that, like where there's not a lot of ink, that means it needs to be re-inked. I am finding that over the past few years, since I've been doing more ink blending with blending brushes and techniques like that, I need to re-ink more often. I used to never, ever re-ink my ink pads. So, I mean, I've had these inks for a few years, and this green apple I've never re-inked yet. I haven't re-inked it before. Okay, so that's the first. Now, if I wanted to, you have to turn captions on. I do. Is it on?
Should be.
It should be on.
I can't go in and check from outside.
Okay, usually, sorry.
I did.
He had turned them on. I'm sorry. You should be able to see now. I don't know why it's not working. I apologize. I know that it's really important to us, and so we always work at that, and I pay somebody to do captions. It says they're not available today. I don't know. We have it set so it is.
Well, I go in and after I create the live, I go into YouTube and do a checkbox to check it. So I don't know why.
Yeah, it must be a thing with YouTube today. I'm sorry. Okay, because we always do that, and I pay for them afterwards too. Okay, so I did the first one. Now, if I wanted to make, I'm going to only do the 2 right now. If you want to make more, you would take this piece out, put a new piece in, and do the same thing on another one. Okay, but I'm only going to do these 2 today. I have some pre-done for later. So I'm going to put this back in so it's in the same spot. Now I'm taking the second layer and I'm placing it on top of my first stamping. Now my head's going to get in the way. I'm sorry. It's just part of lining it up. It's not too hard to line up. Yes, it sounds like thunder with my dogs running around. So right here, I have the first layer. So I'm going to put the second layer here. Okay. So I have my dot down here. I'm going to leave that first layer on there in case I want to do more later. Okay. So now I've lined up the second layer. Let's do pine this time. This is Hero Arts Pine ink. You can use whatever inks you want. I love the core inks. I think they're great quality. As I've said, I've had Hero Arts inks forever, and I just love them. All right. So I stamped the first layer. Let's give it another. Let's see, this one I think needs re-inking too. Yep. I'm thinking about taking March to reorganize everything and share organization videos. I'll have to do a re-inking video and share me re-inking all of my videos because, you know, that's the way, or all of my inks. Okay, so I did the second layer down here. Now I'm going to ink it up again. And instead of placing it this way, I'm going to turn it so it's at the top. So the first stamp is still in here. I'm not inking it, but it's still in there. That way, if I want to go make more later, I can. Now, what I've done so far, you can do in the Misty, right? You could definitely put 2 in the door of the Misty and you're good to go. Okay, so now I have the first 2 layers done. And the nice thing is, I have these images on the plate of my stamp wheel set there so that I can come back in with more pieces later on and place it right in that same spot. And I can do them all. I don't have to line it up over and over again. Okay, so now it's time for the tulip portion. What color tulips should I do? Let me know what color tulips I should do in the comments. Taking the first layer, And I'm lining it up. It kind of fits into the greenery. You can kind of see the silhouette of it. So I'm going to line it up in there. These are really forgiving. These are called Heroscapes. When they have like these layered, simple layered scenes, they've got a lot of them on their on their website. Okay, so now these stamps are on this side of this plate. I'm going to put this stamp on the other side of the plate. Okay, so I'm placing this down with the dot at the top. And right now the grass stamps are facing up towards you. And I'm just pressing the other side of the plate to grab the flower there. So now the flower's on this side. Does that make sense? What color did people say most?
Pink or yellow, I think. Pink or yellow, and some red.
Oh gosh.
Pink, yellow, red.
Well, I have pink here. I used Ultra Pink, Hero Arts Ultra Pink, and raspberry for these. Oh, Christine said rainbow. That's more work, Christine. But I could. I could. Let me tell you how to do rainbow if you want to, but I'm gonna go with, and I have red for the next one. I'm gonna go with purple. I saw a few purples because I have red here. No, I'm gonna do red because this is one of my favorite red combos. Good choice. Okay, I'm doing, this is Hero Arts Pale Tomato, one of my most used colors. It's like a light red. It's like the perfect light red. So if you ever want to do layering with red, it's a good light layer to start with. So I'm starting with Pale Tomato. If you don't have Pale Tomato, one of the best colors ever. And they've had it since I started stamping years ago, and I've loved it all along. So I'm pressing that down. These grass stamps are facing up towards the camera. Doesn't matter. All right. This one I've never re-inked either. I think we've all discovered where Jennifer's lazy in crafting. It's re-inking. The discount code is in the YouTube description below. I think it's Gen 10, and you got to click that link down there. All right, so there's Pale Tomato. I love that color. Now I'll ink this up again. And this time I'll make it so it's up here, to stamp up here. Is that making sense what I'm doing with the stamp wheel? Because now all of the layers will be stuck to the plate of the stamp wheel. So I can come back and stamp more later, and I don't have to reset up all of my stamps. So I made a bunch of these yesterday, a bunch, so it was very helpful. So if you are one of those who likes to do a few at the same time, this is a great trick for layering. Okay, the rainbow. What I would do for the rainbow is I would pick my light colors, and I would, this base layer, I'd ink a little yellow here, stamp it. Then some green there and stamp it. Then some blue there, stamp it. And continue to do that with light colors for this base layer. The reason I'm not doing it today is I've got a lot of techniques I want to share. So that's why I didn't do it. Now I feel bad. I should have done it. If I have time later, at the end of everything, I'll come back and do the rainbow. You can buy extra plates for the wheels. Yes, Roxy, you can, which would be really handy, right? So now down here, I will line up the second layer. Sorry, you gotta look at my head. So this is the second layer of the tulips. This will add like the darker details. Now I'm gonna do this so that it's on this bottom part. So on this plate, I have the tulip layers on this side, the grass layers on this side. So now this plate is set up. This is all set up. I can go and do a bunch, and I don't have to like reline things up, which I think is huge time saver. Okay, so here we go. I have, this is crimson. You could either do, with the pale tomato, you can either do crimson or cherry. Hero Arts Cherry Cardstock is one of my favorites. Hi, Amanda. Or if you want to go darker, you could do cranberry. I've got crimson here. It's going to be a little more subtle. Remember that Here Arts dye inks are like a lot of other dye inks that kind of lighten as they dry. So if you want more contrast, you can come in with a much darker color. Like here, this is cranberry. I'm going to do that on top so I have more contrast. So that's a little bit of contrast. You can pump it up more contrast by doing a darker color. This is cranberry. Isn't that pretty? I like that better. All right, now I'm going to switch to the top flower and we'll stamp with cranberry up there. So all of my stamps are still on here and it's just helpful. So you can do something similar with your Misty. I have in the past, but the nice thing about the stamp wheel is that you can have multiple on both sides and you can get additional plates. So there we go. So now I can take this out, I can put in another piece of cardstock and stamp again. Everything is set up. But I'm not going to stamp anymore right now just to save time. But that's what I did. Let me find a place to put this. If you guys saw my room right now, that's what I did yesterday. I made a bunch of them. Like I've got these, and then the ones that I used to make these cards. And that's how I was able to make them quicker, by doing that. Is there a way to clean acrylic blocks of the door of my stamp positioner when it gets foggy or has stains that won't come off? The way I clean like my Misty door, like say there's, you can see there's some ick on there, right? I'll show you what I do. Okay, let me find it. This is what I do. Ultra clean. It works for me. They have a stamp or a cleaner they recommend on the Misty website. I don't have it. This is what I use. And look at, see how it's all coming off? And then come in with a wet cloth and there you go. It's cleaned up. It works great because this is meant for cleaning up ink, right? Off of stamps, and it's safe for stamps. So I figure it's safe in here. That's what I use. My craft room is, here's the thing. Oh, here's another, oh, this is the one I just did. Here's the thing, I'm gonna tell you right now. Confession. It's actually sad for me. It's a source of anxiety. This is my job, right? And it's also my home. And I feel like, I don't use Windex. Somebody just asked, I wouldn't use Windex. I feel like I want this all to be very organized and easy to figure out because it's my job and it's my home. Like if this were my hobby, I wouldn't be as worried about it, but I'm finding myself working slower because there are some things that need to be reorganized. Like I'm reorganizing how I do my stamps and dies and all that. And I am not at all, my productivity has gone down and it's really bummed me out. I know that seems dramatic, but you get it. When something in work doesn't feel right or in your home doesn't feel right, it can bum you out. So I'm thinking I'm going to take March to just do the things that I've started and haven't finished, and also change some things and then share all that with you. So there's my confession. All right. Yeah, so I'm thinking about that for March and sharing everything that I can. And in the process, you'll get to see more of how I have space. Betsy said, there you go. I always get less efficient when I need to reorganize. It's not that I'm obsessed and I need everything to look perfect. I need to be able to find things better. Because of what I do, I get a lot of product from companies and I buy a lot of product from companies. And it is hard to keep up with putting it away. And if you don't put it away or label it or whatever, you can't find it. And I know it sounds, it's just, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. It's like if you were a doctor and you're getting all these medical supplies in, but you aren't getting a chance to put it away, it would make it really hard to do your job as a doctor, to take care of people. Anyway, whatever. I don't think I described that right, but I need to do something. It's really bummed me out. And anybody who deals with depression or anxiety knows that if your environment makes you uncomfortable, it's triggering. It's a mental weight. Betsy, you need to be here to describe things for me because you describe better than me. Carolyn, I will talk about my paper in the future. I haven't a live in the past. I don't know if Brianne's here still or not.
Perfect thing to...
This is custom made and I have dividers. But that will be my first live, or my first video about reorganization is my paper. So I promise that's coming. And it's hard. Okay. So I'm now using the die to cut out this tulip. I think it was maybe my last live where I used Altenew. I think I talked about paper organization and what I would recommend. Okay, so this die is cool because it doesn't cut the ends, so you have the ability of doing like partial die cutting techniques and so on. But what I'm going to do is just cut it like this because I want that extra on there. All right, we're doing this card first. That card first. Let me set it over here so you can kind of see it. And I'm using the die. So again, this stamp set and the dies and lots of the other things I'm using are from the card kit this month. And there is a discount code in the description below. Yeah, did Bran, ride or die girl, I got you. The stamp wheel should be in the description below too.
May have to reload.
You might have to reload the page, just refresh it. All right, so now I have, it's in there somewhere. Now I have those two like tulip pieces that I'm going to use as a flap on my card base. So let's see here. I need my trimmer. Now I'm going to trim these down a little bit just so that they're nice and even. Like there's a little bit of white trim over here because I didn't do a great job die cutting. That's okay. Now let's do. I'm just kind of squaring it off. Do you ever square things off when you stamp them just to make sure they look nice? There we go. There's one. Now this one, this is pretty good. Oops. Are there questions, Mike? Or people thinking I'm crazy? Jennifer, you have time to can demonstrate how a DOA gatefold card using an embossing folder. To do a gatefold card using an embossing folder. I could do that in a future video. I'll do that in a future video. It's not like a quick thing to show. And I don't have any embossing folders out right now, but I'll definitely do that in the future. Somebody asked if the Stampwheel 1 is the same size as the Stampwheel 2. It's not. So let me show you a comparison. This is Stampwheel 1, and this is that one? Yeah. And then where did my 2 go? Oh, here. All right. Gosh, I buy multiples of things that I like because I have issues. So this is Stampwheel 1. This is Stampwheel 2. Then there are a few nice things about the Stampwheel 2 besides the bigger area. There's measurements along the side, and the side pops off. So if you want paper hanging out the edge or a stamp hanging out the edge, you'll have room for that. There's a lot of great videos on the Altenew channel using the Stampwheel. I know JC did one that was great. Okay, so now I have this. I'm going to do a score line right along where the stamping stops. So I got my bone folder and my scoreboard. Do a score line there, and then do a score line there. And then we'll fold those over. Can you go back real quick? Preferred stamping tool. I mean, listen, the Misty will always have my heart, and I think is the most versatile, easy to use. The Stampwheel, if you have that, and you want to do more, look at the Stampwheel. So the Misty first, then the Stampwheel. Or if you saw what I did and you feel like that works well for you, just go straight to the Stampwheel. Does a 12 by 12 fit in it? No, I don't think so. I think it's like 9.5 inches. All right, so now I have these 2 flaps, which is easy enough. I will get a side folding note card. This note card I have a bunch that I pre-make, and it's 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches. But I'm going to cut it a little narrow because I can. I'm going to cut it to be 5 inches wide. So it's 4 1/4 by 5. All right. I haven't done. Oh, I did do a video on the Stampwheel. Bran can share that. You can use the stamp wheel with cling stamps too. You just take the grip mat out of it. But I've got here, I could do it here. I'll show you. Let me show you. So cling stamps are thicker, right, than clear stamps. So you have to take the mat out of the inside. So let me get this little mat out of here. This is a grip mat or sticky mat that comes inside of the MISTI. This is the same one that you see me use for stenciling, all right? So I'm gonna take that out. In there, I have a little sticky mat here in here. This is like a sticky mat from Altenew. It's actually bigger and I cut it down. So I just have that in the center there. It's just kind of stuck there. I can take it out if I wanted to. I have those linked below too. All right, so I have my note card. I'm gonna place it right there on that, and that sticky will kind of hold it there. Now, my stamp. I have the Cool Cloud stamp. Isn't that cool? This is from the card kit also. This is included in the card kit also. I gotta find, oh, the door. I already used it. I don't want to take all those off because I might want to use them later. I don't have another door, another topper. Oh, here we do. I do have another one. Hang on. I got to take the clear plastic off of it. If you get your stamp wheel and it has this like foggy look to it, it's because it has a protective coating on it you got to take off. Yes, this is the, thank you, Bran. That sticky mat that's in there is the SlimGrip sticky mat from Altenew, and I trimmed mine down and put it right in the center, and I just leave it there. All right, so I have my cling stamp in there now, and I think I'll use Hero Art's, let's use Arctic. It's a nice soft color. It's similar to the old soft pool, if any of you have been stamping as long as I have. Probably needs re-inking, but you know. All right. Yeah, that is one of the big things for me that Laura said. I have to know what certain products are, what certain inks I use, cardstocks and stuff, so I can better tell you in videos. And so I have to be more organized. I have to try to like get rid of products that are discontinued, purge them, because nobody likes it when I use a product in a video that's discontinued. If it's discontinued, then you can't get it and people get unhappy. So I need to try to keep up with it. All right, so I did the cloud background. It's kind of subtle, but isn't that fun? It's like you're looking up at the clouds. I love that. I love that it's different. Oh, you gotta take the plastic off so you can see through it nicely. Yeah, they have different doors with different kind of grid lines on it. It's pretty cool. And if you use turnabout stamps, the stamp wheel is a godsend. It is amazing. It's the best way to do a turnabout stamp. I've done that in the past video, and I'll do it again when they come out with another new turnabout. All right, let me move that out of the way. Starting to make a mess. There we have our note card. All right, so now I will take adhesive. I got strong liquid adhesive here. You want something that will trust. And I'll put it on the inside of that little flap. And now I'll take the end of this note card, place it right onto there. You see here. I'll be trimming a little bit off the bottom because I cut mine narrow. There we go. So I just wrapped it around the side. This kit you cannot buy without subscribing, but you can cancel anytime. And the subscription gives you huge savings. You also, there's some perks, like there are some other perks you got to read about on that page, like savings on other things and free shipping. I don't know them all off the top of my head, but that link below will tell you all of them. If there are any of these available after subscription, they do sell them individually, but it would be a higher price, and that's only if. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so now I have like this kind of fun fold here, okay? And now if you don't have this kind of stamp, what you could do also is create pieces where you use like maybe a circle or oval die to have a window there in the center, and then you'll have a focal point area. So you can do something very similar. Now my card sticks out the bottom there, so I'm just gonna trim it down a little bit. All right. Cut that up.
Hard kit without subscribing.
I just answered that.
Okay.
You weren't in here.
Get a drink going.
That's okay. All right. Now I'm going to take this. I think I want a little white trim. So I'm going to get a bigger piece of white cardstock and glue it on there. So you can see those flaps on the back. May not bother you. I'm weird and it bothers me. And I put things down all the time and then I can't find them. That bothers me, so I'm going to back it with a piece of white cardstock. And I'm going to make it so that white cardstock sticks out the sides. Like this, just a little bit. Now I made my note card narrow so that these tulips would overlap, but you don't need to do that. If you have the Stampwheel 1, the difference between the Stampwheel 1 and Stampwheel 2 is the size and the fact that you can take the side of it off so that you can have, you know, bigger paper in there, and there's measurements on the side. So those are the big differences, and you just got to think about if that's something that would be helpful to you or not. All right. So there we have our fun little fold. So I'm going to put a sentiment in there. This is from the stamp set, and I don't know if you can tell. I'll hold it up. Let me hold this one up. Can you tell? It's kind of like a brushed sentiment. See how the top of the T has that brushed look? I love that. I don't have anything like that, so I'm excited about that. And I will put that right there in the center, or you could do the hello. I'm not sure. I may think about that a little bit. You also have, I don't think I would like this. I think this is a little bit too big for this particular card, but you could also do, oh, that might look good. Do miss you in there. Oh, that would be kind of cool. I did thank you on this one. So I have the options. So I'm going to glue that together off screen just to save time. So I will put a sentiment right there on the inside. And then I also did the butterflies that are in the stamp set. I stamped them with pink ink and used the coordinating die to cut them out. Then I took a black Sharpie and colored in the body, so it would have the black body and antenna. And I glued those on there. And then I put a few little gemstones. So it closes up nicely, opens, and there's a place to write your personal message. I'm a big fan of having the personal message hidden. So that's why I put this flap here, so that when it's like on display, people walking by don't read it. So it's hidden in there. Isn't that fun? All right. So there you go. And I might do the Miss You. I might do the Miss You in gold. But I'll finish it and take photos. I'm behind on taking photos of my cards and putting them up because I'm working on edited replays, but edited replays, shortened, take me a long time. So you got to be patient with me. I'm really trying. Really trying. Okay, so on this one, I think on this one, I'll probably do the butterflies in yellow on the inside. And on this one, I did them in pink to match. You could put a few of the butterflies on the front too if you wanted to, but I just wanted that simplicity. I did go in with a shimmer pen. It's hard to see, but I put a little bit of shimmer on my tulips, just a little swipe of shimmer pen, and it just gives it a little bit of shine. So pretty simple to do. And that's the first one. So if you don't have this kit, or if you aren't subscribed, you could try creating pieces with like a die cut opening here. But you saw how easy it is to use with this. And the price of that card kit is incredible. All right, so that's the first one. Now I wanted to show you how to do this pop-up one. All right, and I already have the tulip stamp, so it'll be faster. So this is the one we'll do next. Turn it over. I don't know. Not sure. Okay. So next up, let me get some tulips out. I have a bunch that I did. I don't know where I put them though. I have a bunch that I did here. These I kind of did what you could do for rainbow. What I stamped, on the stamp I put yellow only on the outside edges and then pale tomato on the inside edges to get this kind of blend. So you can do multiple colors if you want to. I don't have any, I probably off screen will do this same technique with these pieces. I'll do that later. I like the multiple colors. So this was butter bar and pale tomato for the first layer. And the second layer, it was tangerine and cherry, if you're interested. I don't always make A2 cards. Sometimes I do 5x7, sometimes I do A6. But a lot of these you could definitely change into a bigger size, for sure. This is an A2. Okay, so for this one, off screen, I created 3 sets of tulips. Just like you saw me do today, I could go make more because my stamp wheel is set up. Here I did pale tomato and cherry. Here I did papaya and pumpkin. These are Hero Arts colors. And here I did butter bar and sweet, spicy mustard. All right, so we got red, orange, and yellow. So I have those die cut. Let me get this one die cut. Hang on. Run that through. Niece is going to play to golf. My husband would love it, but it's too cold here still. Yeah, I love the tulips too. I love them. All right. So now I have yellow, orange, and red. There we go. Now I need to cut those down so that we have this look here. For the red here, looks like I trimmed it up nicely, but I notice how my red, I shortened it here, just so all 3 layers didn't look the same. I'm gonna come in and cut in here. So I'm gonna cut, let's see, I'm gonna cut right here. I'm just giving it a haircut. So I cut that part off, and then I'll do the same thing over here. I'll cut it right here. And I'll show you how to clean up those edges in a moment. All right, so I kind of cut it shorter, a little uneven, so it didn't just look perfect. Actually, I'll go ahead and show you. So see how there's no white edge over here? So I'll just come in with a white gel pen and color over that stamping. So now it looks like there's a white trim on that too. Just makes it look finished. You don't have to do this, but if you're a little slightly like into getting the details right, like me, it's a nice trick. So now there's a white edge on all sides. All right, now the orange one, let me trim the sides down because, oh, I can cut these flat too. I'm not keeping a flap on the bottom of these. Just trim the sides down a bit. And then I'll give it a haircut too. This one, I'm gonna cut right there, and then this side I'll do here. Don't laugh at me. Okay, so this one I cut a little bit less. You don't have to do this. You could keep them all the same height, but it makes it look a little more random on the final card. These are the kind of things that you can watch people do in videos and you can say, I don't want to take the time to do that. And that's perfectly fine. My pen is dying. White gel pens are so moody. It wants a break. Let's see if this one's working. Little booger. When you watch a video, sometimes you'll see those of us crafting, some of us like the details and they enjoy this. Some of them don't, and it's up to you. You can look at all the different ways and do what you like best. All right, so you can see this one's a little bit taller. Yeah, these are cut here. These are called Heroscapes, where there's like the layering for a scene. And if you go to Hero Arts website, there are so many great Heroscapes examples. I mean, different products. They have some for the beach, they have some for the mountains, they have it for the ocean, they have it for lilacs. I mean, you name it, they've got it done. All right, hang on. Okay, so this one I'm going to keep whole. Let me see how they are all width-wise. They're all good. There we go. So see how they're different heights? So I've got those done. Move these little pieces out of the way. next we need a card base and white cardstock. Let me get those. I'm going to do a top folding card base because I feel like this card stands really nice as a top fold. It just really, it's so cool. I wish you could see kind of what it looks like standing. So I have a top folding note card here. This is a heavyweight one because I think heavyweight for card base is always the best. This happens to be 80-pound white because this is going to be for these fold up mechanisms here. And so there's no need to use heavyweight. In fact, I think lighter is probably better because it gives you less bulk when it flattens, but use whatever you have. And I'm going to cut this. This is 4 1/4 inches wide. I'm going to make it a little narrow so it doesn't stick out the side. Hi, Simon. Good to see you. Are you crafting today, Simon? Okay, we're going to create the first little pop-up thing here. And I want it to be 3/4 of an inch. You could make it a 1-inch square, bigger or smaller. I'm going with 3/4 of an inch. So I have white cardstock. This is a little less than 4 1/4 here. I'm going to score at 3/4 of an inch, 1 1/2, 2 1/4, and then 3. So each of those score lines, I'll put a little pen marks or pencil marks so you can see. Each of these score lines are 3/4 of an inch apart. You see those 4 score lines, sorry, 4 score lines there. Because we're going to fold this up. And we want it to fold up like a cube on the side. Now I got all this extra here. I could have measured first, but all I'll do is just cut it, free cut it. Nobody's going to see it, so there's a little flap. So this piece of cardstock is 4 1/4 inches tall. There are 4 score lines, and they're 3/4 of an inch apart. So 3/4 of an inch, 1 1/2, 2 1/4, and 3 inches. And then there's this little flap over here. Basically, you can do any size you want. You just want this pop-up cube. And I've done many videos with this in the past. Many. So if you want to check any of them out, you definitely can. Okay, so we have the little flap over here, a bigger flap here. On the bigger flap, I'll put some strong adhesive. And I'm going to place it so that the first score line there is lined up with the bottom of my card. I'll place it down and show you. Hold on, lining it right up. So the big flap is glued to the bottom of my card, and the rest of it is sticking out. Okay, so the rest of all that is sticking out. Does that make sense? So that first flap big flap's glued there. Now we have this little flap here. I'm going to run some adhesive along this. And then I will take, hold on, fold along the second score line here. Well, actually, hold on, hold please, yes. Fold along the second score line here. So it looks like that. There's adhesive on that little flap, and then flatten it down. That's the easiest way to do it. So you'll see it's a cube from the side. I gotta let it dry though. So I put adhesive, let me put marks on this so you can see better. So there's a score line here, here, and here. I'm gonna put glue on this little flap. Okay, there you can see better. So on this little flap up here, I'll put glue, something strong. Then on this middle score line here, I'm gonna fold and then flatten it all down and put something heavy on it. There we go. Sorry. Sometimes I think the pencil might help. Let me get another piece of cardstock. This time I'm going to make a smaller pop-up. So that was the pop-up for the bottom here. You could just do the one if you want to, but now I'm going to make a smaller pop-up to go on top of it for the orange layer. So I have another piece of cardstock that is a little bit narrow, just a little bit short of 4 1/4 inches. This time, instead of 3/4 inches apart, I'll do my score lines at 1/2 inch apart. Okay, so let me do them first, and then I'll do pencil line. So at 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 1 1/2, and 2. So I did 4 score lines, and they are 1/2 inch apart. Okay. Then just take your scissors and cut so you'll have just a little flap sticking off the end. Okay, so now I'm going to fold along these. Let me fold it this way so you guys can see. You can see the pencil lines now. It'll make it easier as I put it together. So there we go. Okay, now this should be done on here. There's my first pop-up. So the biggest, you got a little flap on this side and a bigger flap on this side. On the bigger flap, I'll put some adhesive. Okay, so there's adhesive on that bigger flap. And I'll just kind of fold it over, and that's going to get tucked right in up against the top of our other pop-up. I'm going to show you in a second. Hold on. So that bigger flap is glued right up against the card, and it's kind of sticking out from right above our last pop-up. So we're doing the exact same thing to adhere it to the card as we did down here, just doing it up higher. Now we have the little flap. Put some strong adhesive on that. Fold along that middle flap and press it down. Okay. There we go. So there's that one. Now I want to glue these two together, the two pop-ups, right? So I'll run a little bit of adhesive between them. Let me show you the pencil line where I'm putting it. So where you see that pencil line, I'm putting some adhesive so that it glues to the pop-up below it. So this is two pop-ups. You definitely could do one pop-up if you want. And then what I like to do is just press it all down, how it'll be in an envelope, and give it a moment to dry. Okay? Now I did forget one thing. On this card, I used that cloud stamp to stamp in the background first. So if you want to do the card like this, I would use that cloud stamp like I showed you before with a light blue ink. I use Arctic for this one, and I stamped it onto the front of the note card. I forgot to do it here. Okay, I don't have instructions that you can print. I'm sorry. I may do that someday, but it's hard. Thankfully, you've got the video you can go back and look at. It's easier to see in person. Written instructions are really hard. Okay, so now see how they pop up together? Isn't that fun? So you could just do one layer if that's easier. And then I like to work the mechanism a little bit so it moves freely. All right, so first up, we'll take the back one, which is the yellow. That's our highest one. I'll put adhesive on that, and that's getting glued right to the card, right at the top of the last pop-up. Now I discovered I needed to cut my card a little narrow. I'm going to do that right now because I trimmed it too tight. So I got my Spellbinders scissors, the best scissors for this kind of thing, and I'm just going to trim a little bit off the edge. There we go. Okay, so the yellow is glued right up against the top of our pop-up mechanism. So it's right on the back, glued to the back. Again, you would have wanted to stamp the cloud on there, I forgot. Okay, now the orange. The orange is getting glued to the front of this stair, the top cube. So I'll put glue there, and I'll take this, and watch, I'll rest it right on top of that, right along that top stair. Then this front part is where the red will go. There we go. Isn't that fun? Now, if you don't have this particular stamp set, you could do like border dies with these layers. You could do like a bunch of die cut flowers in different layers. There's a lot of different things you can do with this, and I've done many videos with pop-ups like this. So many lives, in fact. So I feel like it's just a great universal, and it flattens nicely to go in the card or envelope, and then it pops right up to stand on display. Isn't that fun? So it's different than, yeah, normally I would use a trim or dory. I was feeling brave. So it's different than just a different fold using the same products. So the hello is from the same Hero Arts card kit. So it's from this stamp set. You could do like just wanted to say in front of it, or hello, my friend. What I chose to do is, have to find it. Here we go. I got it from the other stamp set that's included in this, the card kit. This one that says, it's got the happy birthday, love you, and look up. I did the See You Soon from it. So this stamp set is also in that kit. And there are coordinating dies for those words and the balloons. So some of the other card examples they have over in Hero Arts for this kit is something simple you can do is stamp the cloud on a background, right? And then have stamp and die cut balloons, and it looks like the balloons are going up into the sky. Then there's like the sky writing. Oh, and for these little birds, I use the birds in the stamp set. Big fan of little birds like that because I feel like it adds something in the sky of a scene like we've got here. And then of course I did one black butterfly on there. So there's a closer look. You can see the clouds and all the layers. Isn't that fun? So all of this uses the Hero Arts February Hero Studio card kit. Information's in the description below, and you get 10% off right now using the code that's in the description too. Isn't that fun? It's a great value too. Great value for all of that stuff. All right, so those were all done using just the card kit. Let's do something else now. What do you say? Hi, welcome. Mike, were there any questions while I get myself ready for the next thing?
Yeah, what's your all-time favorite color?
All-time favorite color? Yeah. Like ink? Well, yeah. Oh, man. Okay. Here we go. Gina K. Sea Glass. I'm going to give you some of my favorites. The favorite color. Hero Arts, or Gina K. Sea Glass. Pink Fresh Waterfall, which is like a bluish teal. A little more blue. Altenew Azurite, which is like a bright, bold blue. Hero Arts Pale Tomato, which is like a light red. I can't pick one. Distress ink in Peacock Feathers. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Never gets old to me. Concord and Ninth Nectar, which is like a soft peach. Those are some of my favorites. How's that? Hoping that helps. I think I just made it hard because I just rattled a bunch off. But you can always go back and listen to it again. Before I get started on the next, well, no, I'll tell you that at the end. Next, let's do the layering stencils. So this is the layering stencil of the month, the Hero Studio layering stencil of the month. Let me see. I want to see how much these cost so I can better explain. So the layering stencil of the month, to subscribe to this, is $15. And I think the shipping, yes, free shipping in the US for these. So it's a nice deal, and you can get the others too. And then they also have, if you go to their studio page, it talks about how all the perks you get, like discounts. You get discounted 6 to 14% off regular retail, free shipping in the US, free shipping on all your orders in the first few days of the month. There's just a lot of perks. Hero Arts is very generous. Spellbinders is very generous too, as you know. They always have great offers. Just very good. All right. Do I ever use printed paper? I do sometimes, Janie. I do sometimes. I've done videos on printed paper, like pattern papers. I've got several of them. I don't buy them much because I like to make my backgrounds, but I totally get why people like to use them. And I think there are some that are beautiful. I love, like, Honeybee has great pattern papers. Like, my favorite things has great pattern papers. So, oh, I need a refill of rubbing alcohol. There are some beautiful ones out there. I don't use them much because I like to make my own with stamps and dies. But I totally understand why some people use it. I also am really loving right now, like the faux inked pattern papers that look like somebody did alcohol ink with them. I know, Pink and Main has some. I forget who else has some. Altenew has some. And I did a video on a bunch of those. There we go. Brian just put up a link. Go figure. She's amazing. Yes, by the way, this generous offer from Hero Arts for 10% off site-wide, except for clearance, is very generous, but they can't go back and give it on previous orders. It's just something that would kill their customer service. So please be understanding of that. But remember, there will always be deals again in the future. Because these companies are so nice. Okay, so I have a grip mat here. This grip mat, you've seen me use various types of grip mats in the past. I use Altenew, I use waffle flour, and this one is from Gina K. I use all of them, not because I think you need all of them, by no means do you need them all, but they're all good, and in different ways they're good. This one is the newest. This is from Gina K. And what's brilliant about hers is this back side of this is smooth, right? So you can use it as a grip mat. The other side is 2 background stamps, because really these grip mats are just a big stamp. So you can use the other side to stamp background images. So it's like triple duty, right? And it is sized perfectly to go inside of your MISTI. Okay, yeah, isn't that smart? So here are what the 2 patterns look like that you can stamp with it on one side, but I'm just using it as a grip mat and using the smooth side face up. Isn't that great? Okay, thank you, Miss L, for being understanding. All right, so I have a piece of white cardstock here, and by the way, I'm not sure what I'm going to do here. How's that? Okay, Hero Art's layering stencils are always easy to use. They have little etchings on the bottom, and they have these little holes that you can use to make a mark so you always know where to line up. I think let's start with the leaves. This is, I'm going in whatever order. Can you put up the daffodil picture again? It's the yellow flowers. Let me show you what it can do. I'm going to do it different. See the bottom there? You can see the bulbs that they grew out of. I'm not going to do the bulbs in this, but you could. I just want you to know that. I'm going to chop that part off. I don't know why. I guess just less inking. So I'm going to place this right about here. Now, what I can do, and I'll go ahead and do it, is I've got a Sharpie here, and I can put a little dot in these holes. Yes, I'm putting dots on my grip mat, but I'll be able to take it off with my stamp cleaner, so I'm not worried about it. So there's little dots there, so I know every time if I line up the holes and the dots that it'll line up. But really these are easy enough to see. Now I stepped on this earlier, and so these little pieces are kind of sticking up. So what I'm going to do is take a little bit of tape runner and put it on the back side of those little pieces so it'll kind of stay down a bit. Yeah, I dropped all this and I stepped on it. You know, I've been a mess in my craft room. So this is, you could use pixie spray, which is a spray you put on the back, but I'm not a big fan of spray, so I'm just putting a little bit of tape run on the back of those little pieces so they stay put. Okay, whenever we ink, what do we need? What is the tool we never knew we needed until we had it and then we can't live without? It is our ink stand. Let's see, let's do Fresh Lawn. Oh, this is a great green, by the way. Well, Teresa said she loves when I use stamps and dies that are no longer being sold because I can get ideas on what to do with my new stamps and dies. I totally get that. However, not a lot of people have old stuff. Like some people are newer, so they would get frustrated not being able to get it. And you can watch videos with new stuff like this that I'm doing and apply those techniques to your older supplies. And I really work hard, I really try my best to make sure that I do techniques as much as I can that can be done with a variety of products. Like what I'm going to show you here, you can do with a variety of stencils. So you could look at some of your stencils from 5 years ago and apply this technique to it. I'm using products that are readily available so that when people watch and they really want to use the same thing, then they'll be able to get it. You know, it's just like trying to have a balance. So these are the Pink Fresh Studio 1-inch blending brushes. Pink Fresh Studio is a friend of Hero Arts too. You can use absolutely any blending brushes. I'm going kind of quick because I'm running out of time, which makes me sad. I have to be done at 3 because Hero Arts is going live at 3, and I'm going to go watch it and be in the chat, and I'm hoping you all will too, because Shannon is the one going live, and Shannon is one of my favorite card makers, and I think she does a great job live. Okay, so there's the first one. Yeah, this is the ink stand. The inkstand I think is fantastic. I need to clean my feet so it grips better like it's supposed to. Bran even texted me and was like, clean the feet. I haven't done it yet. I'm gonna do this one last. All right, the next one, I can line up the dot that I made with the holes, or I can just look at the inking I've already done. Lines up very easily. On this one, I'm gonna go in with a few different colors. First, let's do the green. This has the insides of the flowers and the details on the leaves. So I'm gonna mask off using one of my pieces from the Altenew alignment guides, like I showed you earlier, just to hold there to mask off so I don't accidentally get green in the areas where I should be getting just should be getting yellow. So let me go ahead and do this. This time I've switched over to one of my other favorite blending brushes. This one is the Altenew mini brushes. Listen, I'll tell you, there are so many great blending brushes out there. I try to do a variety so you can see the different options, but do know there are many great ones. I can only fit so much in my drawer, and I try to do my best to share the different options. Okay, I think I'm just gonna do that one green. You could do more shading if you want. Oh, that's so pretty. Okay, now I use rubbing alcohol in a spray bottle to clean my stencils. The only thing I use rubbing alcohol on is my stencils and my glass mat, the glass work surface. There we go. Brienne just put a link in the chat to where you can catch Shannon Go Live, and I'll be over in the description or in the chat during that. I lied. I am going to come in with a darker green here because I want to. I'm going to come in with, I'm going to reach for some Altenew just because I want a super dark green, and here where I use the darkest they have. Hang on, I need to think. I know it's scary when I think. I'm going to use Papaya for up here. So let me get an orange brush. You know what would be pretty on this? I know I haven't done the base of the flowers yet and the other one, but I'm going to come to that. I'm going to come back to that. Actually, I'm going to go darker here. I'm going to come back to that, and you'll see why. Normally, I wouldn't go in this order with these stencils, but you'll see why. I'm going to get an even darker color. I'm going to get, hold on. Jennifer's overthinking. Hold, please. Okay. This is, I want a super dark orange for this. Not super dark, but dark. So I got terracotta from Altenew. And I'll put that on these because this is the darkest detail of the flowers. Have I lost people with this? I'm going out of order, but you'll see why in a moment. I promise. So there's a little bit down here, and there's a little bit over here. Oh, there's a little bit up here. Let me get a couple of these. I'll use the side of the stencil too. I know, I'm weird. Details kill me. Isn't the rubbing alcohol amazing on stencils? Never use rubbing alcohol on your stamps though. That's not good for them. Not good for stamps. Okay, so there I got the orange, and I'm gonna do hopefully this shows up, a darker green just at the bottom of these. Oh yeah, there we go. Look at that. Gosh, this is fun. Diane, I appreciate you saying that I'm normal. I'm not. Okay. Not the cleanest inking I've ever done, but it's good enough. Okay, now we have this one. This will give us more details. I'm going to line up those little dots that I made. It'll line up great. There we go. Now on this, I'll do Papaya. Go back to Papaya here. Switching to a lighter color, so I'm just rubbing off the excess darker color. Karen asked she said, I saw you're doing the Weekender event for Spellbinders. Yep, I'm going to be teaching in that this year. It's a great crew. Yana's in it, and she's one of my favorites. Goodness, she's so good. JC's in it. He's another of my favorites. I don't know if the information is really out on that yet. I'm not really sure. Sorry. I'll have to look, but I saw the products that we get to play with, and they are so much fun. So unique. It's just really fun. And I'm really excited. I'm going to do some fun interactive ones. Okay. Now, this is actually the first layer of the flowers, and I'm doing it last, and you'll see why. I guess I could have done it in the right order. I made that a little complicated for you. I'm sorry. Lining up those dots, and now this is the first layer, so we'll do this in the lightest. Sorry, this is why it takes me a while to edit my regular videos, because sometimes I'll realize I'm showing I filmed something in a complicated way, and so I'll be able to edit that out and go back and do it in an easier to explain way. But when you're live, you kind of got to go with it. All right. This is Butter Bar. Oh, this is one of my other favorite all-time colors. I've used it since I started stamping 20 some years ago. They've had this color forever. It is like a nice butter yellow. It's not too like in your face yellow. It's like this kind of, but lighter. Just a great yellow. I use it a lot. So I'm put that over the tulips or the daffodils. Gosh, I keep calling the wrong thing. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Super easy, right? No guesswork with lining that up. Now, I'm going to just pick this up and put this into my stamping tool. Now, I will take, this is the Hero Arts Cling Stamp of the month for February. And it is excellent for techniques like kissing, because it's this weave. Excuse those little mess ups. I have a prototype. But it's this nice like linen-y weave. This is one of those that's good to stamp, like do like a beautiful inked background or stamping, and then stamp over it with this in white pigment ink, and it'll give like it gives it like a linen texture look. It's so cool. But this is a great one for kissing techniques. So if you want to kiss on or kiss off, like Gina was talking about in my last live, this would be a good one for it. But I'm going to show you something that I like to do. So I'm going to line this back up. So this is that last one that I did for the yellow on the tulips. I'm going to take my cling stamp and place it on top. Now, I need to warn you that I should probably just take that out because people are going to freak out on me. No, I'm going to leave it in. You really should take this out because this cling stamp is thicker. You should take this out and just put the paper and stencil right into the bottom of the MISTI. But I'm being kind of lazy and I'm going to leave it there. It puts a little bit of strain on these, so you're doing it at risk, but I did it before and it was fine. So normally you don't need a grip mat in here, but it's all here and I'm going to save time. Now I'm coming in with papaya. You know what? I used this stamp with blue last. Let's clean her. Let's clean her. So to clean, a couple spritzes of Ultra Clean. Come in with my scrubber, which I need to give that scrubber a bath. And then come in with I usually come in with like a wet cloth or something just to get the cleaner off, and then a dry cloth to get it all off. And then that stamp will be clean. One of the things that is nice about rubber stamps is they clean so much easier. All right, now I'm going to ink this up with papaya. And the stencil's on here, right? We're going to, Brianne, calling me out. We're going to stamp over the stencil. Now, the stencil has puts a little step there. So the stamping won't go all the way up to the edge of the stencil. But in the center of the open areas of that stencil, we're going to have that little texture show up. Hang on, I don't think I inked over there. Oh, there we go. See, do you see the stamping appearing? I'm going to do some more so you can see it more, just to make it darker. And I also didn't press grade on it, so let's do it again. This is going to take a little bit of muscle because we're trying to stamp through a stencil. Laura said she just subscribed. Laura, I think you'll be happy because I've seen some of the ones coming up and I'm really happy with them. Let's see, so you see do you see the texture coming on it in the tulips? I think that's fun. Now I'm going to do it one more time just to make it a little bit darker. Now this obviously only works with stencils that have a large opening. So, you know, you can stamp over like maybe, well, like here, like a floral, but anything with large opening. You don't want to stencil with little detail. Like stamping over this, you're not going to get the stamping to show up. But over these big open daffodils, look at this. I just think it's fun. Look at the detail that we have on our daffodils. It just adds some interest to it. Isn't that fun? I think it's fun. Well done, and pretty quick to do. Let me just wipe this clean. Does that make sense? So for that technique, you want to use a stamp with fine detail, like that linen-y kind of look, and a stencil with bigger openings. Because as you see here, the stamping will not go all the way up to the edges because of the lip on the edge of the stencil, but I like how it's actually only more towards the middle and then it fades out on the outside. Isn't that fun? See, you know, I did that yesterday and I was dancing. I was so excited because I have no life. So I will not dance for you all. Okay. I put on Josiah Queen. Anybody out there like Josiah Queen? I'm obsessed with Josiah Queen, and so is my son, and so is my daughter, and we're going to his concert, and I'm so excited. He's a 22-year-old and so talented. Okay, so there we have a little daffodil background. Now I want to cut that down, and I want to show you something that I discovered, okay? I discovered this last week because they were on, I like you, I shop. Last week, Spellbinders had a BOGO sale where you buy one, get one free. I think the BOGO sale ended yesterday. And I bought these and a few other things because I wanted to see what they were like. I was hoping that they'd be rectangle dies with a wide metal so they don't get the warping when you run through die cut machine. And I was excited that when I got these, I bought them and they shipped right away. A2 matting basics, there's an A and a B set. See how wide the metal is around the cutting edge? That'll keep it from giving you a warp when it goes through, like kind of warping the edges. If you've ever had that with a thin rectangle die. So I was excited about this. So I'm going to use this today. And this morning I went back, I only bought the B one. This morning I went back and bought the A one because between the two, you have like all the sizes and you can get that really fine matte if you get both. Why did you skip order? Oh, when I was doing the layering stencils, I wanted to do that yellow layer last so I could do the stamping on it. I didn't have to go in out of order. I just made it more complicated for myself. Sorry about that.
You mentioned Josiah?
Josiah, yeah. Does anybody know who he is? Anybody like him? Hi, Dana. It's Christian music. He is a 22-year-old who does such fun Christian music. It's like the energy, I just think he's great. And it's, I don't know, I won't say anything else. It's the kind of Christian music we all need to be listening. Well, anybody who shares faith with me, it's a good one. It's like positive, like just, it's great. Okay, so I'm gonna use that rectangle to cut that out. Now I could just cut it with my trimmer. I could cut it with another rectangle die, but the reason I'm excited about these is this metal's wide, so the sides don't kind of go womp when it runs through the die cut machine. You know what, this might be too big for what or too small. No, that'll work. Okay, I think it's good. No, here I go, overthinking. I'm gonna go for the bigger one. So you can see how it's nice to have Josiah Queen. There you go. Did anybody listen to him out there? I'm so excited he's coming to Cincinnati. Okay. All right. Queen is his last name. Listen, I know Christian music isn't for everyone, but if you like it, or even if you don't like normal Christian music, this is much different. It's much more mainstream, but the words are really thoughtful, and he actually produces his own music in his bedroom. So he's like his own producer. Is that what they call it? Recording? He records it himself? Yeah, TJ, I agree. He is like a younger Toby Mac. Okay. Yeah, anyways, he's great. Okay, so there we go. Look at that. Oh, and look at, it does the little nice like frame. Do you see that? Like it presses down there. Oh, I didn't even think it would do that. Yes, Hero Arts has re-inkers. He is headlining, and he's small. He mostly goes to like college campuses because my son took his girlfriend. It's funny. I told my son, I'm like, hey, this is a funny story. He might kill me for saying this, but he doesn't listen, so that's okay. I'm like, Colin, this was back in October. Josiah's coming to Columbus. We should go. And he's like, hey, that's a great idea for me to give Mallory for her birthday, his girlfriend. So he went with Mallory and I didn't go. So when sweet, she's sweet, so it's okay. So when I found out he was coming this spring, I bought very inexpensive tickets because Christian music and he's new. I bought a bunch of tickets and I said to Colin, I got a bunch of tickets. Bring your friends. So this old lady gets to go with all the college students and Lila's gonna go too. I'm excited. All right. This is the Thanks die. There's also a shadow, but I'm not using it. This is the Thanks die from the Hero Arts card kit. So this was a layering stencil of the month. This is the card kit of the month. And I'm gonna use that big thanks. And I'm gonna cut it directly from this. Paula, I always do too. I always do too. Josiah Queen, listen to the song. If you like Christian music, listen to the song Garden in Manhattan. It's really upbeat, and the message is basically, be a garden in Manhattan, a river where it's dry. When your friends can't find their way, be a roadside welcome sign. So it's basically just saying, live your life as a good example. And it is so upbeat and fun. I just love it. I love it. I think it's so much fun. Anyway, okay, I'll stop. So I cut this out. Now I want to show you this. I've done this technique before. It's called Eclipse. Some people call it that. There's some other names too. And I've done videos on it in the past. But the video that I'm doing, the reason I thought of doing it today is I saw a card by Michelle Short. She is one of my favorite card makers. I've got a handful of card makers that I love, and she's one of them. And she's on the Hero Arts design team. And I saw a card she did for this release with this technique. And I was like, ooh, I need to try that with this particular card. And I asked her and she said I could share it. So there's a purple card. This card was done by Michelle Short. She's on the Hero Arts design team. I will link it down in the YouTube description below. It's on the bottom of my supply list. Look at how she cut the hay there from those tulips that I did earlier. And it's called Eclipse. That sentiment kind of pops up from the background, but you can still see the tulips in full. Does that make sense? Brianne just put a link to an Eclipse video I've done. So this is Michelle Short's card. Go follow her. She's on YouTube. She does stuff for Altenew too. She is really good. And her accent is dreamy. And that's what, I saw that and I'm like, hey, I should do that on this card. So that's what I got here. I think I'm going to put this. Hey, I made that earlier. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to put this on yet. So what I'll do, let me show you what I'm going to do here. I'm throwing things around. I'm going to cut a piece of white cardstock that I'm just going to glue to the back here because I'm not sure where I'm going to put this on. If I knew what I want my background to be, I would just do it directly on the background, but I'm not sure. So I'm just putting this behind the thanks opening so I can assemble the greeting on it. Okay. Michelle is great. She's sweet too. She's so good. I'm telling you, yeah, I'm not letting Gina name this. Carmen, you're right. The Hero Arts design team has some incredible, I just made a mess, some really incredible artists on it. Natasha is another one on the design team. I mean, there's a bunch of them that are so, so good that I highly recommend checking out. I don't think I kept my centers. Ugh. Darn. Okay. Now, I used the thanks and die cut it 4 times from a bright yellow cardstock. And I glued those together, okay? Now I'm gonna put adhesive on the back of that. I made a mistake, which you'll see in a moment, but that's okay. I can fake it. I can fake it. I'll put that right into that opening. I'm popping it in there. Now what I did wrong is I didn't keep the center pieces, you know, like in the little nooks, but I don't think I need it. It'll be fine. So you could do it just that, right? Have the thanks on there and it stands out nicely. But this Eclipse technique is you put adhesive on this and then put that one that we die cut out on top. You know, guys, I have a YouTube playlist of songs that I like to listen to when I craft. I should share that sometime. And it has those in it, because you can play the YouTube playlist just like music, you know what I mean? Like, just have it running. Hold on, I got a little thing stuck on there. Okay, so I'm just gluing that on top. So you'll be able, you can glue it on offset if you want, but I'm gonna line mine up. So you can see the thanks, like when you tilt it, and you see that yellow popping through. So it's just a fun, see the thanks on there? You could even like put a little bit of blue like in the background area. So this has some blue on the background where it's white on here. You turn it blue and keep the background white. And you can see the yellow from the side. Yeah, I stacked 4 yellow. I probably could have done more. But that's the Eclipse technique. And I just thought that's neat because you still see your daffodils, but then you have the sentiment. So now this, I'm not sure how I'm going to finish this. I think I need to think about it off screen for a bit, what I'm going to put in the background. I'll have to think about it. I mean, you could go bold with like a, oh, that would be cool with blue. That Cling Stamp of the Month stamped on blue would be pretty behind there. Or you could do, sorry, my head's in the way. You could do green behind it. I don't know, I got to think about it. See, this is where I got to overthink off screen. Orange behind it. I'll think about that. And I'll finish it and take pictures eventually. It'll take me like a week or 2 to get them all done. Sorry. All right, so we got the technique of stamping over a stencil opening. You can see the look that you get there. And then the Eclipse technique. All right, there you go. You like the lighter green? Well, I'll just glue, I mean, it's basically just gluing together. So I'll do that another time. I might make it interactive, like how it swings. We'll see. Now, I'm running out of time here, so I'm just going to show you what I'm doing next. Mike, that colorful image of the flowers and the planters, can you pull that one up?
This one?
No, there's little pots that the flowers are in. That. Okay, so that is the fancy die of the month for February at Hero Art. So you can subscribe. You don't have to subscribe to all of these. You can pick and choose. Like if you like simple but impactful layering die sets, you could subscribe to just this, and every month you get a different layering die set. This is February's, and you can cancel at any time. But I love that because look at all the different types of flowers in there. So if you just wanted to have daffodils in a planter, you could just make a bunch of daffodils and put them in that planter. Or you could just do tulips, or you can do a mix like we have here. Now I like this arrangement so much in this picture that what I am doing is I'm making a card in that exact same arrangement. And I'm even using a lot of the same colors. Sometimes you get tired. You can switch back, Mike. Sometimes you get tired, right? And you struggle with what colors to do or what products, how to arrange things. Look at their website, because companies have, like, that was a mock-up that Hero Arts did, and that's how they envisioned it when they designed it. So why not look at that as like a guide? Or you can look at the examples the design team has done, and that might help you. But I'm gonna look at that photo. In fact, I have it pulled up on my computer over here, so I can kind of follow along with it. I'm not gonna have time to finish all this because we're gonna go watch on the Hero Arts channel next, but I wanted to show you what I'm gonna make, all right? And maybe I'll do this while I'm watching there live. I went through and I stamped that linen-y background stamp, the Cling Stamp of the Month. I stamped it tone on tone on a bunch of different colors of cardstock. So you can see I stamped it with yellow on yellow, pink on pink, orange on orange. You could go darker if you wanted to, or you can go if you don't want to do all the different colors, you could do white on all of them. And it just gives that little faux texture to die cuts. So I did that to a bunch of pieces of cardstock, and then I die cut from them. So now instead of plain flowers, my flowers have like this little, can you see? Like a little texture to them. Can you see that linen-y kind of texture? I'm just gonna bend my hands. And it just adds some interest. And it's much faster than like inking the edges or whatever. It's just a better, Mike, can you get that spam out? Do you see it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Did you ban them? Thank you. All right. So I did some of that where I stamped on the colored cardstock with the darker ink. You could also stamp with white pigment ink, and that would be pretty too. And then I started die cutting all my flowers. Now let me show you, I noticed there's a bunch of leaves in here, right? Bunch of leaves and stems. I didn't want to deal with the liquid adhesive on those. So what I was going to do for these, I have 2 pieces of green here. By the way, this is Hero Art Shamrock, which is one of the most beautiful colors. It's like a nice, true darker green. I like it a lot. It's actually what I use for a lot of my holiday stuff. It's a great green, Shamrock. On the back of it, I'm putting a piece of Altenew double-sided adhesive sheet. Do you mind adding that to the supply list? Altenew double-sided adhesive. That way, when I die cut this, I'll end up with stickers instead of having to deal with little liquid adhesive behind these detail ones. So let me put this on here. On these, I didn't put the adhesive on the back because these are easy enough to put glue on the back of. I'll tell you some of the other colors. This green here, I think it's Simon Says Stamp Grass, if I remember correctly. This pink here is Hero Art's Ultra Pink, which is a great bright pink. This is Simon Says Stamp Lake. It's just a nice blue. This orange is here, whatever Hero Art's orange is. Their cardstock, is it tangerine maybe? And then this is one beautiful color. I love this. This is Spellbinders Periwinkle. It's a great like bluish purple. It's not bright purple. It's not blue. It's like right in the middle. And this is gonna be discontinued. So I'm gonna order a bunch. So anyways, that's, I have those linked below. Do you die cut more than one layer of cardstock at a time? I don't. I don't. You could. But what I do instead, I'll show you as I cut these. Now remember, this green has adhesive on the back, which is going to be a big time saver in the end. What I normally do, hang on. Sorry, you can hear my dogs barking. See, I have plenty of room here that I can put more pieces of cardstock and cut more. Can you close the doors? Yeah. Sorry, guys. I put more pieces of cardstock on here and I cut little dies and I run it through. So I'm not just cutting one color at a time, normally. Now I am right now because I've already cut all the others. I'm just doing the green right now. So remember, all of this cardstock, I did that stamping of texture on first. Is Ken here? Okay, what's going on up there? Something's happening. Sorry, guys. All right, so now look at this. These die cuts are a sticker, so they can easily be added anywhere. Without enrolling in a subscription, you would have to wait till next month to get these products, and it's only if they have any left over. Sorry, Lynn. It's only if they have any left over, but remember, you can always subscribe and you can cancel. Totally good option. But you can, see what they're like. I think they're only going to get better because the designers are working really hard. It's fun. Okay, so, sorry, it's taking me a minute. So now these thin little leaf pieces are a sticker, right? These I didn't do that to because they're not super tiny, but that's always a good option when you want to glue a bunch of like little die cuts together. Now I'm gonna have to assemble this off screen because I gotta go to, I think one of Lila's friends is here.
Yeah.
I'm going to assemble this off screen because we're going to go to the Hero Arts channel to watch that. But let me just show you some of the pieces. Like the planter, I used craft cardstock and I stamped with Hero Arts Cup of Joe so that it has the texture. And then my background, I did white cardstock with that really light Arctic ink. So everything on the card will have that like texture, that fabric-y kind of look to it. I don't know what the stamp is called, but the fabric stamp, or this linen-y kind of texture stamp that I keep using, is the Cling of the Month for Hero Arts. So it's linked below too. So now I have my flowers, my pots, my background, and then these intricate little leaves, I already put the adhesive on the back of. That will really help. I don't know if you can skip instead of canceling. I know in the past you could. It probably says it on that page. But I know that Hero Arts has good customer service, so they should be able to answer that. In fact, if you go to the next live over at the Hero Arts channel that Shannon's doing, she would be excellent. She works for Hero Arts, so she'd be excellent at explaining that. So you can subscribe just for Cling Stamp to arrive every month. Free shipping, right? And you'll get one of these backgrounds, like a background stamp that's universal like this every month. Okay, hang on. Let me get these out. So I will assemble these little die cuts, now that I've stamped on all of them and die cut on all of them, just like I showed you in that picture. And when I finish all the cards and take pictures, I'll put them on my blog. I promise I will. So I just wanted to show you what I was going to do with this. I knew I was going to run out of time, but it just gives you an idea of stamping on your cardstock with a detailed background stamp before you die cut. And then look at that fun little texture print that you get on your die cuts. That just adds interest to simple die cuts. So this is from Hero Arts, and Hero Arts is giving 10% off site-wide using my code below in the YouTube description. It's the 10% is on everything except their last chance clearance items. Those are already marked down a lot. So if you put some of those in your cart and then put some regular price stuff in your cart, the 10% will just come off the regular stuff. Oh, giveaway. Let's do a giveaway and then we're going to head over. This is actually pretty cool. I found a box in my other side of my basement with old discontinued Hero Arts products that I had left over from classes. Never been used. So I have two giveaways. One of them is for this ice cream stamps and dies. This was back when they didn't do coordinating dies for the sentiments. This is old, 2016. Okay. And then this one is the Share Handmade Kindness that I did with them years ago. This is from 2015. So one person will get the Share Handmade Kindness, one will get the ice cream one. These are, we will pick somebody randomly from the chat. So if you've left a message in the chat during this, you'll be eligible. Now, while Mike is picking those two people, next if you want to join me, I'm going to go over and watch the Hero Arts live that Shannon is doing. She'll be using, I'm sure, some of these products so you can see more ideas. And I went early so that you guys could go watch that for more ideas too. That's on the Hero Arts channel. I bet Brianne has put the link for it in the chat. I will be in the comments chatting too during it, after I go get a drink. So that's over on the Hero Arts channel. It starts at 3. And Shannon is really good. She's much more chill than I am. Much more calm. So Mike, do you have winners? Sorry to rush the end here. So the winner of the Share Handmade Kindness stamp set is...
hold on. Beverly Ross.
Beverly Ross. Beverly, if you go over to my website and send me an email with your address, we'll get that sent out to you. And the winner of the ice cream is...
I'm having a little delay in my...
Hold on, he's got computer issues.
Macro. Somebody I shouldn't. Diane Dunn.
Diane Dunn. You win this. So email me through my website and we'll send those to you. Okay. It's 3 o'clock. Sorry to rush off, but I want you to go listen to Shannon. See, Jennifer agrees. Shannon is really good. Go over to the Hero Arts YouTube channel. I'll be in the comments too after I get a drink. And remember, you've got that 10% off code in the YouTube description below. And Shannon's going to give you some more ideas. And if you have questions, she's a great one to ask. All right. Sorry to rush off, but I want to make sure. Kathy, this is not available anymore, but I'm going to ask Hero Arts if they could bring it back. But I do have plans of doing an updated one with Gina in the future. So you can stay tuned for that too. All right, Bran just put a link to Hero Arts. I will go see you over there. Thanks so much for watching. Yay.
Sorry.